The movie starts with a man named Ryan. He just arrived in Spain and is waiting for his friend Jake outside the airport to pick him up because he doesn't know anyone else there. But instead, Jake's driver shows up with a note from Jake apologizing and saying he's busy and will see him at the house. When Ryan gets to Jake's house, he's amazed by how fancy it is compared to his place back in America. He makes himself some food, and at night Jake comes back. He greets Ryan and tells him he missed him and that they haven't seen each other in 12 years. We find out they met at a cooking school, but Jake moved to Spain when he got a job opportunity there. Ryan asks him how he bought the house, and Jake tells him it belongs to the agency he works for, and it changes every week. Ryan is surprised by these benefits and asks if they need a chef, but Jake says there are no openings right now. Then he asks Ryan about his job in America, and Ryan tells him he's a chef in Dallas, but the salary isn't good. Jake explains that his job with the agency lets him travel to many countries and cook for important people, and that right now he's on a 2-day break. Ryan gets excited again and asks about any job opportunities, but Jake disappoints him by saying the job isn't perfect and that there are some weird requests, but he refuses to explain more. The next day, Jake wakes Ryan up so they can work out together. After the workout, they go have breakfast at a cafe where they meet a girl named Alice. She says she quit her job and is traveling the world with her own money. When she finds out they're chefs, she gets excited and wants to try their food. So they go back to Jake's house and cook her Italian-style risotto. They blindfold her so she can taste both dishes, and she's amazed by both of them, but she picks Ryan's dish. The next day, Ryan wakes up to a threatening message from someone in America asking him to pay back the money he owes. We understand that Ryan ran away to Spain because of his debts. He ignores the message and asks Jake about Alice, and Jake tells him she left and that he has an unexpected job and will be gone until night. Ryan uses this chance to open Jake's bank account on his laptop, and he's shocked to see there's more than 1.7 million euros. At night, Jake comes back feeling depressed and drinks with Ryan. He tells him he's stressed from his job, feels like he hasn't achieved anything in life, and that he's getting old without getting married or having kids. He thanks Ryan for visiting him. In the morning, Ryan wakes up and finds Jake has killed himself, but he doesn't feel sad. Instead, he feels hatred because Jake lived such a comfortable life. The only thing that bothers him is that he doesn't know what to tell the police. That's when he gets a crazy idea: get rid of Jake's body and steal his identity. The first thing he does is call the bank and pretend he forgot his password. But the employee asks him for ID verification and some personal questions, so Ryan makes up an excuse that he's suffering from temporary memory loss. But the employee refuses to continue with him and ends the call. On the same day, Ryan gets a message from the guy who's been threatening him. It has a picture of his mom, and he's threatening to kill her if Ryan doesn't return the money he took from him. Ryan asks for a week to pay him back and promises to send him an even bigger amount. That night, we see Ryan dumping Jake's body into the sea. The next day, he goes to sit alone at a cafe, thinking of a way to pay off his debts, but he can't come up with anything. When he gets home, he's surprised to find two people from the agency where Jake used to work, Emo and Morris. They ask him if he's Jake, and he gets nervous and tells them he is. Emo shakes his hand and says she's heard great things about him and is excited to work with him. Ryan asks her about the salary, wondering if they could give him an advance. She tells him she can send him the money right away and asks how much he needs. When he asks about the total salary, she tells him it changes every time, but this time he'll get paid $300,000. Ryan is shocked and says he only needs $50,000. She transfers the money to him immediately, and he quickly sends it to the guy threatening him. Then, Emo asks if he's chosen the meat he's going to cook for the upcoming dinner party. Ryan is confused and tells her he hasn't chosen anything. She gets annoyed and tells him there are 5 very important clients coming just to taste his meat, and they're paying millions for it. He apologizes and asks her to take him to the place where he can get the meat. She takes him downtown and tells him to pick a healthy human, someone who doesn't do drugs, so the meat will be fresh. Morris will be there to help him choose. Ryan is shocked by what he hears and realizes that this agency is dealing in human meat, and that's why Jake killed himself. Unfortunately, he has no choice but to do what they tell him, or they'll kill him too. When he gets back home, he keeps thinking about the mess he's in and tries to run away, but suddenly Emo is there in front of him. She asks him where he's going, and he tells her he was just out for a walk because he has insomnia. Emo tells him she knows he always gets anxious before choosing the victim, and explains that the agency never kills more than 75 people a year, but they make over $100 million from the clients who pay to taste the meat. She also tells him that 10% of the profits go to charity, like farming and education, and that they actually help develop society, unlike big corporations that only care about profit. The next day, Morris wakes Ryan up to go choose the victim. They go downtown and keep looking until they run into a guy named Joe's, who asks if they need any help. Morris decides Joe's will be the victim and tells him that his car broke down and he needs his help. Joe's goes under the car to check it, and suddenly Morris pulls out a silenced gun and shoots him. But suddenly, an officer named Jolly stops him and asks what he's doing there. Morris tells him he works in real estate and came to check the place out because they're planning to build a hotel there, and hands him a business card with his name, job title, and the address of Jake's house where the dinner party will be held. The officer believes him and leaves. After that, Morris and Ryan move Joe's body to the kitchen under Jake's house. Emo tells Ryan to cut up the body and get it ready for tonight's dinner party, and he has no choice but to obey. After he finishes, Ryan goes to take a shower to wash the blood off his body. He breaks down crying because of what he just did. At that moment, he decides to run away. He quickly packs his things and gets in his car, but by accident, he hits one of the agency's workers. He immediately gets out to check on him and keeps apologizing. That's when Maurice arrives and realizes Ryan was planning to escape. He warns him that the agency won't let him go if he tries. Ryan asks him how long he's been working for the agency. Maurice tells him it's been 5 years. Ryan is surprised and asks, "How did you keep doing this job? Why didn't you leave?" Maurice replies, "I love it. The money is great. I travel a lot. I don't need anything else." Ryan asks if anyone ever left the agency without getting hurt. Maurice tells him there was a chef named Greta who was allowed to leave because she proved herself and she offered to go without taking any money, so they agreed. But he doesn't know where she went. Ryan feels there's still hope and decides to continue working normally until he figures out another plan to escape. Later, he starts preparing the main dishes for dinner. At night, the first 2 clients arrive, and Emo welcomes them, assuring them they'll love dinner. After a while, 2 police officers arrive, Jolly and Gabriel. Emo asks them why they're there. Gabriel introduces himself and says that Joe's, his uncle, has been missing since the morning. He heard from Jolly that Maurice was in the area and wants to ask if he saw him. Emo tells him that Maurice is out on an errand and will be back in an hour. Gabriel says he'll wait. She tries to ease the tension by telling him they're having a business dinner and that Maurice works with her in real estate. They're working on the idea of building a hotel in the city. Gabriel asks to speak with Ryan, so Emo takes him to the kitchen. As soon as Ryan sees them, he gets nervous but tries to keep calm. Gabriel introduces himself, shows him a picture of Joe's, and asks if he saw him that morning. Ryan denies it. Gabriel asks, "Why are you cooking if you're an architect?" Ryan replies, "I love cooking. I'm talented at it." Gabriel starts asking him some architecture questions. Ryan answers them wrong, so Emo quickly steps in and answers for him. After that, Emo goes to tell the clients that the police are there and asks them to pretend they're investors. Maurice returns home and meets Gabriel. He tells him he didn't see his nephew, but Gabriel starts feeling like something isn't right. Gabriel tells Emo that there have been a lot of strange disappearances lately, and many young men went missing this year. They sent emails to their families saying they were okay, but no one ever heard from them again. That's exactly what Emo does with her victims. She gathers their information, sends fake emails to their families to reassure them so they don't call the police. Gabriel goes to meet the clients during dinner and shows them his nephew's photo, but they all deny seeing him. Gabriel loses hope and decides to leave, but one of the clients, named Chi, stops him and invites him to have dinner with them. Gabriel agrees, but Officer Jolly decides to leave. Emo gets upset with Chi and asks him why he did that. Chi replies, "It was the right thing to do so Gabriel doesn't suspect anything." Chi goes back to the table, and Ryan starts serving the food. Everyone is amazed by how delicious the meat tastes, especially Gabriel, who says he's never tasted meat that good in his life. At the same time, Alice arrives home and asks about Jake. Emo takes her to the kitchen, and there she's shocked to see Ryan. She asks him why they call him Jake, and Ryan tells her it's a long story and asks her to leave because Jake has traveled and isn't coming back. She gets even more confused when she sees him cooking blood. So she asks him what kind of dish it is, but he tells her to stop asking questions. Alice feels something is wrong, so she runs to her car to leave, but suddenly the car breaks down. Then Maurice shows up and offers to give her a ride since it's late and there's no transportation. Meanwhile, Ryan asks Emo how Greta got out of the agency. Emo shocks him by saying Greta was killed when she asked to leave, even though the employees think she left. At that moment, Gabriel compliments the food and asks Ryan what kind of meat it is. Ryan tells him it's pork, but Gabriel doubts it because the taste is completely different. Ryan goes back to the kitchen to prepare the final dish, the tongue, but he finds it rotten, which is a problem because the guests are waiting for it. Emo suggests they get rid of Alice and take her tongue. After that, Ryan serves the dish to the guests and secretly gives Gabriel a note without anyone noticing. The note asks him to meet in the bathroom, where Ryan tells him everything about the agency and his nephew. When Gabriel finds out he ate his nephew's meat, he throws up. He and Ryan agree to meet downstairs in the kitchen under the house. Gabriel pretends to leave, but actually goes to meet Ryan in the basement kitchen. There, he sees traces of all the crimes and decides to call the police, but then realizes he forgot his phone. Ryan asks him to wait while he goes to get his phone, but as soon as he leaves, Maurice comes down and kills Gabriel. When Ryan returns, he finds Gabriel's body. He pretends to be shocked and helps Maurice get rid of it. At the end of the day, Emo sends emails to the families of Alice, Gabriel, and Joe's to make them think they're okay. The next day, Ryan wakes up in shock and sits with Emo and Maurice, who compliment his cooking and tell him the agency is pleased. Then Maurice attaches a tracking device to Ryan's neck so they can always monitor him. Emo asks if he's going to spend his vacation in London as usual, and he says, "Of course." We see Ryan at the airport, sitting alone and drinking a lot. He's clearly in shock, but he's come to terms with the fact that he will live under the agency's control for the rest of his life. And now he has two choices: keep doing his job or do what Jake did. If you like this summary, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any new summaries and help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Subscribing really helps me, and with your support, we can grow the channel and reach more people. See you in the next summary.